Hi everyone, back again. Yeah, sorry, due to a technical issue, I've had to log out of the previous broadcast and start a new one. Right, so let's get the others back. Right. Yep, there we go. Right, yeah, so just while we're waiting for the others. Yeah, you're right, Carl.
Right, yeah. Is that one working?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, I started out on the wrong search engine.
Yeah. I remember what we read last time. Something to do with settings or something to do with your browser or something.
Yeah, it was, yeah. See, because I'm an Apple user, Safari, but I know now. I keep remember I should start on Google. I should just do it on Google Chrome.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, I knew there was something like that. Something to do with settings or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, John. Here's John.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me as well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, everybody can be heard now.
Yeah.
Right.
So how have you been then, Carl?
Oh, all right. This past couple of weeks, it's not really mega going off. Then again, there never is. Just got some. Just looking at things that I've been been doing today. Just
yeah.
Right, yeah. And I started doing a conversion to make this have really big wheels.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Although Chevy Nomad, but I'm doing it up for Gaslands, so I needed to put a rear wheelbase on it. I don't know whether it's going to work properly because it's only held on with modelling clay, modelling putty. So I don't know whether that's going to work very well. And then I've got a few steps closer to finishing the what they call Black Ghost helicopter. That body's all done now. It's just I'm sorting out the cockpit glass, and I need to paint. And then I've done a load of terrain scenery for Gaslands, because now that we're playing it regular, it's something I can get into doing, kind of thing. Yeah. But other than that, I've not done much this weekend. Another shitty, boring bank holiday weekend.
Yeah. Well, I went out for a few beers last night, and it was all right. But,
oh, pardon me. So was it busy when you went out?
It wasn't as busy as I thought it would be. To be honest, I went into the first place I went to was my local Wetherspoons, and I thought it'd be bloody jam-packed in there. It weren't actually too bad. I wasn't stood at the bar for like half an hour waiting to get served.
It was weird because when because we did Gaslands night on Friday instead of Thursday.
Yeah.
Because like the guy who's like cafe is that we have it in, we're trying to figure out the best date for for people to come sort of thing. And I think we're settling on Fridays now. But when we finished, it was sort of after 10 o'clock, and I had to walk down to to get my lift back home, and walking through area where our pubs are, and it were dead, and that were on the the Friday before a bank holiday weekend.
Yeah,
and it was like,
Yeah. To be honest, I've not really been in Hull or anything over the weekend, so I wouldn't have known how busy we was either. I mean, where I live in Hessel, which is just on the outskirts, our locals on Sunday was quite busy. Our locals were quite busy, but I don't know about elsewhere.
Yeah. Were that like Sunday dinners though?
Well, it had been basically just have normal like pub meals. The one that does like the hot food and that. But that was absolutely, because they must have had some sort of karaoke thing on as well. Because they do like games and things in that one. But they all seem to have quite a few people in. But whether into Hull, I've no idea. I mean, I don't really bother really, because usually it can be quite busy.
Yeah.
I don't have the money at the moment to really go gallivanting out here, there, and everywhere.
No. Well, that's it. I was trying to save up for, is it WartCon that's going to be in Doncaster in August, I think it is. And I reckon I'm probably going to end up not going, because every time I try and save up, something comes along, and it's like, instead of being able to put away, say 10, 20 quid a week, I'm only at most able to put away like, a couple of quid or a fiver a week. And, even if, like you say, oh yeah, but it's not August, it's only just started being May. Yeah, that's May, June, July, August. That's like 2 months to save up a decent amount of money, and putting a couple of quid away every fortnight ain't gonna end up much. As like I say, I don't think I'd even be able to pay for fucking ticket for entry. So I very much doubt I'll be going to that. But they had a day on Saturday. To promote it. Like people dressed up in Star Wars gear and stuff like that hanging around in Doncaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those pictures I took that you commented on, Carl. Those are at Specsavers. They're a local event at our Specsavers. All the staff.
Yeah, like a charity. Yeah, like a charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to say it was the May the 4th, weren't it? Yeah. It's all right. I don't know. That's all I can do is say I'll just cross my fingers and hope I can try and get enough money together to go. But I think it's about 15 quid entry or something like that.
Is it just a day thing?
It's hang on, let me have a look. Oh,
I think it's a full weekend. I think. I've seen it on Facebook. I'm not going to go to it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, it's WalkCon, cosplay competition, 31st of August to September the 1st. So yeah, it's over 2 days. The over weekend. It says there guests, Q&As, merchandise, trade stalls, cosplay, classic modern day gaming props and stuff like that. I don't know. So I can't. The guest list. Last time I looked at the guest list did look all right, because they've got Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred, and I thought, ooh, that's all right for a fucking. That's all right just to mention two names.
Mm.
They had some others now, thinking like that's probably worth it, but then I thought, yeah, it's probably worth it, but then you've got to pay, like, if you want out signing or anything like that, you've got to pay extra. You're talking maybe 20 squid for that, you know. So I don't know. Depends how much money I got together. Also depends. I need to look into finding out who's running the event as well, because there's a couple of things I'm not happy about with some people that run events around Doncaster Way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, I suppose you might have known, Carl, because the guy who run Digicon started wanting to do the KamahaCon UK version.
Yes, he did the one last year.
Mm.
Did the one last year. He's not doing it anymore.
Apparently, I've heard that apparently it's been cancelled indefinitely.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. I don't know the true ins and outs, but I know the KamahaCon in America's had some issues with Chris Sabat and Monica Rial. They over something else.
Yes, it's Anime Gate. It's basically they decided to accuse. They decided to accuse Vic Mignogna of being a rapist and pervert, and unfortunately, because every single word of it's untrue, he's now suing everybody.
Yep.
Basically, anybody who's ever bad-mouthed him is suing them, and he's got a damn fucking right to as well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he put the it was on. Oh, was it about 3-4 weeks ago? He's lodged the papers taking Funimation to court, I think it is.
Yep.
For sacking him for basically no reason. Just based on gossip. They haven't actually done a proper investigation into any of the allegations.
No.
They've just listened and believed. And then the next thing, people were putting stuff up saying, oh, yeah, he's done this to me, he's done that to me, and then taking photographs and having them photoshopped to make it look like, instead of cuddling them, he's touching their ass or whatever.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yes, he's going to be, there's going to be some people, very, very fucking sorry when he's finished.
Yeah, will be. Yeah,
it's one of the reasons. It's one of the many reasons why KamahaCon UK has been cancelled indefinitely. But I'm not going into it. I know what it is that's done that, and it's not just that, but it's one of the reasons. But I'm not going into it really.
Okay, no worries.
I'll tell you later though if you really want to know, because I know Sam will be interested as well because he's been watching it. Because I know he says there. I think he's like spoken to Vic or something like that, or something along them lines. I know what they call him. Oh bollocks! I can't remember anybody's names to this week. I'll say anybody's names today, but this week on Facebook. Oh shit! Lives in Ireland. Goes to AA and TF Nation and that. Forgot his name. Yeah, but he knows Vic as well, and he's been saying about it. All like fucking all anime and cosplay groups and stuff like that there is in have all been like, oh, he's a rapist, and no, he's not.
Yeah, it's a pain. Yeah, it's silly when people, they hear something, and it's just gossip that spreads, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all it is. Well, it's not gossip.
Someone decides to say something stupid, and it goes around.
Yeah, it's not even just gossip. It's just plain basic lies.
Yeah.
Somebody don't like somebody, so they start lying about them, and and in this day and age of the whole fucking hashtag Me Too and hashtag Listen and Believe. Oh, if we just say something about anybody, that'll destroy them. And it's like, yeah, unfortunately, when something turns out to be completely fucking fabricated, it backfires big time.
Yeah, it does. Too right, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes, guys. I'm going to nip out. I'm gonna nip downstairs.
Yeah.
Because I can't smoke in this property.
No worries.
No.
Well, you could just don't say out.
No,
Yeah.
but I'd probably set the fire alarm off. So.
Oh, Christ. Yeah. No, I'm going to say I seen you'd, what they call it, posting there, you'd been at football or something, were it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last game of the season, current season, and basically I was gifted the pass thing for the last game because the person who owns it couldn't attend, so I ended up going to a free game. Why not?
It's all right. If you like football and somebody's got a ticket and they don't want it, then might as well. Better than it going to waste, and especially considering how much. I mean, I'm not bothered about football, but I know that it costs a fair bit to get a seat at fucking football now, don't it? Even like the third division clubs.
Yeah, it does. I mean, when we're in the championship, so it's just under Prem, but it can be quite pricey depending on where they're playing or anything, and especially if they're playing a Premier League team as well, you pay more for that.
Yeah. I mean, even God, what else is it to get a seat basically up in the sky? Where you sat behind a fucking girder. Was it at Old Trafford? And it were like, they were saying like cheapest seat were like fucking 60 quid or something. And that was sitting right at the back behind all fucking girders. Just like fucking hell. It's just like, so there's some people who gladly pay it, and it's just like, why? Like, so I could say I were there. It's like, well, the team that's playing don't know you're fucking there. They don't care either.
They just care about how much money they're getting paid that week.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. What sponsorship's paying them that much, Yeah, fucking. I remember somebody said there about that. They said like, Premier League footballers don't get paid all that much. When they were saying like, how come footballers get paid so much, but like firemen get paid fuck all?
Yeah.
Like, Premier League footballers don't get paid that much. And then somebody went like, fucking Thierry Henry only gets paid like, like, fucking what were it? Something like, like 150,000 a game or something daft like that. They were like, yeah, but 150,000 a game, and if you're a fireman, you just get paid like fucking so much an hour, and then if you get called out, you get a bonus. Well, I say a bonus; it's not really a bonus going out to fucking fight fires, but you know what I mean. When they go out, they get paid, duty fee or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not £150,000. They were like, they go like, yeah, but that's not much compared to like players of like other sports and stuff. Like Americans get paid a lot for playing and stuff. Like that. When they play football or baseball or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but and then it's like, but they're still thinking, and they're only doing say a couple of hours work, and they're like, yeah, but what about all training they do? It's like, well, yeah, I mean, obviously they've got to fucking train. Firemen have to go in and train. Police have to go and train. Fucking, ambulance drivers and paramedics have to go and train.
Yeah.
So it's training's part of the job. Like, and then it's like, oh yeah, but then fucking sponsorships as well. And like that, like, oh yeah, fucking firemen don't get sponsorship. That'd be fucking weird. Like your house is on fire and you run down a fire engine, turns up and blokes jump out of it, and then one of them's like, like, oh hey, we're here to fight the fire, courtesy of Pepsi.
Yeah.
Imagine if one of them gets sponsored by Pepsi and another one gets sponsored by Coke. They'll start fucking fighting over who gets to hold the hose.
Yeah.
But my house is burning down. Yeah, but this is important.
So someone's figured by Tampax or something.
Yeah. Everybody else on Watch has got sponsors. Dave sponsored by Coke, Pete sponsored by Pepsi, Bill's sponsored by fucking, I don't know, Michelin, and then fucking Stanley's sponsored by Tampax. Yeah, and then they've got a woman on crew as well. Like fucking Lorraine is sponsored by fucking Monster Energy. It's like, oh, can't we swap? Fucking can't we swap? Be worse with fucking paramedics if they had sponsors. Be like, so paramedic turns up at your house, like, oh, my dad's having a heart attack or whatever, and then it's like, what's good for, getting your energy back after a heart attack? What? Monster Energy drinks.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding that, if you tried drinking that after you've had a heart attack, it'd probably give you another one straight away. But
probably won't. You probably won't come back from that one.
Yeah. Try this new Mococo drink. Well, I would, but unfortunately, you're arresting me. After a long, hard shift catching crimos and locking them up in your community, I like to settle back with a nice glass of Pabst Blue Ribbon. You said that to somebody just as you're arresting them for drink driving. Oh, God, it's on window.
All right.
Yeah. I just gone and got this off at windowsill where it's dried. It's on it base coat for it, but it's a Lamborghini Miura that I've started converting for Gaslands. I've put the I don't know if you can see little exhaust pipes poking out the back where there shouldn't be. Things that's what I say. I've finished building it this morning, and I've sprayed it so that I can start doing paint job on it. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, it feels good to get out, to be out, like doing wargaming thing again. It's something I've missed doing.
Yeah. Do you go to like a gamer's workshop for that?
No, there's a cafe opened up in Doncaster called Bake, Battle and Roll, and it's it's a board game cafe, but they're quite happy for people to come in.
Leicester's got a couple of those places.
Yeah, but that's it. They're quite happy for you to come in and play games. It's like they said there. It's just you pay, like a table fee. It's like, was it £3.50, but you can stop there all day for that. It's literally, I mean, they're open from like on Friday, he's open from 10 in the morning till, no, he's open earlier actually. Can't remember what time he opens, but he's open till 10 o'clock at night. So if you went in when he opened and paid you £3, you'd be there all day. So it's all right, but we've been playing Gaslands. They've got like a little private room set off to the other side, so they've had people playing like D&D and stuff like that in there. They've got their own stuff as well. Like board. They've got a big thing at the back with all games in that you can play. They've got like oh God, what have they got? Some games I've seen on shelves like like Zombicide and is it Zombicide? Zombicide, something like that. They've got that. They've got some of your basics like Snakes and Ladders and things like that. Like I say, I talked to her that, it's a young couple that owns it, and she says they were having board game nights, at their house like once a month or so, and then they thought, well, being as that people were coming round and like fetching stuff and you know, just like once a month. And then they thought, well, maybe we could start a business out of it. So they did. But they're not from round here, though, I don't think. They're not from Doncaster, I don't think. They travel. I'm not quite sure where they're. It's not somewhere that's like mega far away. I think they're like sort of out from Lincoln. Hang on, let me have a look. I think they're out from like Lincoln Way or something like that.
Yeah, I know Lincolnshire kind of because my grandparents live in in Lincoln. So.
Yeah.
Well, Lincoln's not far from us.
Yeah, it's about a 90-minute drive from Market Harbour here.
I think Lincoln's about an hour for us. I think about.
Oh no, they are from round here. I just looked up because I've got both from Facebook. They are from round here. I don't know. I've seen some of the. Oh, I don't know. That's probably me getting confused again. I don't know. My fucking brains are turning to shit recently.
And I feel like that recently.
Yeah.
I don't even know what bloody day I'm on half a zone.
Yeah. Well, that happened, especially when you. I mean, it's like you, John. You're used to getting up with work and stuff like that. When you stop doing that, and you ain't got a proper routine set in, it's just one day is pretty much the same as the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, obviously, I'm not working at the moment, and I'm still looking for stuff. An odd experience occurred with a job I thought I'd got recently. Didn't end up happening.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's one of them things these days. It's like, you know, applying for jobs, and you've got a better chance of not getting the job than you have of getting it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking daft. But then again, that's the world we live in now. It don't matter how much people say like about wanting work. You can want work more than anything itself. But if the jobs don't exist, you can't apply for them.
No.
Yeah. Well, apparently Hull apparently is the worst place to find a job, apparently. Because like record numbers of unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Well, what I'm kind of lucky is I live in a town. As I say, the cities have high unemployment. Throughout here, though, we've still got, we've still got local businesses opening.
I mean, it's kind of iconic in Hull. Apparently, it's the cheapest place to buy a house in the UK, but it's hardest to find a job. So you need a job in order to purchase a house. It don't make no sense.
Well, it does, because it's like I said there, it's jobs are drying up, so people's moving away. Yeah. And because there's no reason to move into area, house prices go down, because if you're going to ask like, fucking $500,000 for your house, nobody's going to pay that if they can't, if there's no jobs there. They're not going to move into area for work or whatever. They're not going to move to Hull when the work, when the only place that can find a job is like fucking Retford or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you find a job in Retford, you're going to go and live in fucking Retford, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there used to be a bloke I know, he got a job in Nottingham, and he lived in Doncaster, and he used to drive to Nottingham every day. It used to cost him an absolute fucking fortune in petrol, but he said he had to do it. He had to do it. He says because he couldn't afford to move, and he couldn't find a job close to home. He says if I could find a job close to home, that'd be great. Because he didn't particularly want to move, but he said he says if it comes down to it and he can afford to move from Doncaster to Nottingham, he's fucking gone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Nottingham's probably more expensive. I mean, it's not that far from where I am. It's only like half an hour on the train.
Yeah.
I can get to Nottingham from my local railway station.
Yeah.
It's only 3 stops after Leicester. But yeah, I know Nottingham quite well because my uncle used to live there.
Yeah, it's a ball ache, it really is. But eventually, hopefully, a door will open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I says. You can have the best CV in the world. You can have all the qualifications and fucking experience that they're looking for. But if they just don't like you for whatever reason, you won't be getting the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Shit. I've slept funny because I've got a right fucking pain in my neck. Oh, that way you've slept with your head sort of like bent over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's stiff when you wake up, isn't it?
Yeah. One of the reasons why I woke up, because I woke up and there's pain in my neck and I was like, oh shit. Oh yeah, but I don't know. Oh. Hey, it's nice to see that people's finally stopped screeching about fucking endgame spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, literally, I
rushed
to see it to avoid,
Yeah, but it's like I said though, the people proper fucking thinking like screeching about it, and it's just like, for God's sakes, you're a grown man. It's a fucking cartoon film. You know, it's not. It's sort of thingy, and stop threatening people. Sort of thing. Actually threatening people because they might say something about a film that you haven't seen yet. It's like, fuck off, you child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet, Carl?
I haven't. To be honest, I'm not really bothered about it. I'm bored of all because every time you seem to look at the things for pictures recently, it's fucking superhero films. And I'm bored of them.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they are pretty much just superhero films at the minute. I mean,
I don't think I've seen the only things that I've seen that aren't superhero related but sort of are, adverts films is Detective Pikachu and the Sonic the Hedgehog film. That's it. I've not seen any adverts for any other films. So I don't even know what films there are now. It's like I say, most of the time I tend to find out about films when, like my mate will say something about him, when he's
Oh, yeah. Have you heard about these changes that are going to be made to the Sonic character in the film?
Yeah, so the bloody should and all.
Yeah.
That fucking, it's like, I see when I send the trailer for it, it just literally looks, Sonic just literally looks like a midget in a furry lycra suit. It doesn't look like Sonic all, it just looks like a little person.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I seen there that the people had complained enough that they went like, yeah, we've fucked up. So they've changed it so it looks a bit more like the actual character and not just somebody fucking cosplaying as him.
Yeah, apparently even the creators of Sonic, they're kind of glad that they're finally kind of going to redesign him.
Yeah.
Literally, even fans that are really good with like Adobe or whatever, After Effects or something. Yeah. They've literally shrunken him, shrinked his stomach so it's not as big, and then it literally looks like they're just taking him from the cartoon straight into live action. Yeah. I mean, I understand this is aimed for little kids, but you've got to understand, you've got to get his design right, at least.
Yeah. And that's when you get people that starts like they did with fucking Ghostbusters film, like, oh, it's not for you, it's not for you. It's for anybody who wants to go and watch it. And when you've got a pre-existing fan base, you don't want to piss them off, because even the ones who've got kids, it's like, oh, take kids to see Ghostbusters or Sonic or whatever. And if parents look at it and they don't fucking like it, they're not likely to take kids to see it, are they?
No.
I still say like, oh, fuck that, I'll just wait for it to come out on fucking video. Yeah. Well, that's what I say. It's Detective Pikachu looks good. Although I must say it's a very strange concept.
Well, it's based on the DS game.
Yeah. I would say it just seemed to be a very strange concept to do for the first live action Pokemon film.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't have the adventures of fucking Ash and Brock and Misty all the time, can you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently not many people have actually played the game. So when it was first announced, people, even including myself, I have no idea how the game plays. I don't know how the game works. And literally, I was just like, so basically, just want to kind of bring a talking Pikachu to live action. So okay, fine. But I was just like,
Ryan Reynolds is a good actor, and I like the idea that only the trainer can understand his English.
Yeah.
Well, others here just hear traditional Pika Pika.
Well, that makes sense, because if you think about it, Ash knows what Pikachu's saying. All of his Pokemon, he has this understanding. So there must be some link with a trainer and Pokemon in order to understand each other. Maybe not to the point where it's like perfect Queen English or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, it's when you think about it though. When you've got pets, after a while, you learn the mannerisms and things like that, don't you? So, it's only kind of same as that. It's like I say, with, cats I used to be able to have whole fucking conversations with them.
Yeah.
Well, they know when you're not happy as well. Because say if they're like, I don't know, a cat's jumped up on the wet top, you're like, get down, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And they also seem to recognise the names as well.
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, because usually if you make a certain collection of sounds, then it's usually followed up by something to eat or a fuss or something like that. So they know when they hear that certain collection of sounds, they think like, oh, something nice.
Yeah.
But it's what they call. But that's it. I don't know of any other films that's coming out other than them two. Is there any other? I mean, they did. There's the trailer for the whatever Star Wars film coming out.
Yeah, I know. I really don't get this title.
I can't even remember what it is.
Rise of Skywalker.
It'll be.
It'll be something to do with Rey, definitely.
Yeah, she'll be. Yeah, Mary Sue Ray will turn out to be like fucking Luke Skywalker's long lost daughter or something.
And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've not listened to a lot of the criticism with, since Disney's taken it over, they've literally destroyed Star Wars. Like, no, they haven't.
No.
And
They haven't. They've not done it any favours, though. I will say. Well, they've done it a massive disfavour because it's like they say.
Episode 7, I thought was a good film, and
I like Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens. Yeah, Force Awakens wasn't a bad reintroduction or a stepping on point for people that had never seen Star Wars before. That was all right, but then the second one with the fucking Admiral Gender Studies.
That was as bad as people think it is. I still enjoyed it, but I'd say it had quite a few problems compared to Episode 7.
I enjoyed it, but the whole Mary Poppins Leia kind of a cringing moment, and I literally was laughing in the cinema. I was like, "Could I be laughing at this?"
I was so convinced when I watched it for the first time at the cinema that was going to be Leia's death scene.
That's what I thought at first, but then she kind of used the Force, but kind of makes sense because she will have Force abilities.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's in the canon as well. It's in the books. So it makes sense but it's just kind of funny. She's just kind of floating in space and spinning.
I will admit. I think what I like. I think what the good things are. Are these. The side film. Well, Rogue One is a good film.
Rogue One's all right, but and Solo, I'm willing to admit, was okay. It's not looking brilliant. Wasn't as bad as what some people made out to be, though. It's still Solo, but it could have been better if they'd have just followed the extended universe thing for Han Solo, which they sort of did, but then they had to insert a fucking love story into it as well for some reason.
Between droids.
Yeah, and then fucking what they call it, that fucking stupid social justice robot.
Yeah.
That was fucking annoying, yeah. But but then it's like they said there, it's that combined with the really poor reception of Last Jedi has basically killed off the side films, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I did hear talk that they were still carrying on with the Boba Fett film.
I'd like to see that, but
apparently
no.
the film's been cancelled, but they are making the Mandalorian series, which could bring to it.
Yeah. It seems that the way to go now is telly. I mean, fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, look how popular all stuff like fucking Agents of Shield and Flash and Arrow and that's been.
Yeah.
I think they're finding that people would rather sit and watch stuff on Netflix than they would go into the cinema. And it's TV's a lot cheaper to do than fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to this Mandalorian series. I mean, it's the first time we've actually really seen an actual live-action series focusing mainly on a single race. I mean, the Mandalorian are the most well-known and respected by a lot of Star Wars fans.
I don't know what much more they can do with it. It depends on which time period they set it in, because all the main stories about the Mandalorians has already been done in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
It's the main story about the Mandalorians there was the Mandalorian Rebellion, and then when they got took over by Darth Maul, and that's basically the kind of best parts of their history done, unless they set it during the Mandalorian War. But then again, that's way before even the fucking Empire period. So,
all we know is that when at Star Wars Celebration that's just come and gone.
Yeah.
Basically, they did like a sneak peek of the Mandalorian, and it seems to be that it's more or less it is about the Mandalorians, and they go to their home world as well, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's mainly following a specific character known as the Mandalorian, and he wears the helmet and that, and it seems to be it's following like a ragtag group of Mandalorian soldiers, rather than. Because apparently one of them's supposed to be an ex-rebel pilot or an ex-rebel. What's the troopers with like the weird visors?
Oh, in Scout Trooper.
I think she was a Scout Trooper or something. Yeah. So she apparently one of them is like an ex-rebel. So apparently, I think it's supposed to be set after the Death Star and everything, and essentially the Empire are pretty much kind of crippled. So it's kind of some surviving members of the Stormtroopers are trying to find new ways to get money and live.
Yeah. So it's basically the A-Team then. It's more or less the A-Team.
Yeah.
But
I think the stories say that some of the Imperial Stormtroopers are actually still some of the clones.
Yeah. So I think it's set after a certain big storyline, because that's why we've got a Stormtrooper rather than like in the new stuff where they're no longer really known as Stormtroopers. They're more called like First Order Troopers, aren't they? So
yeah.
I prefer Stormtrooper to First Order Trooper. That's the one thing I don't.
Yeah,
like.
I know. The thing is though, is that because it's obviously now a Disney franchise. The First Order Stormtrooper helmet has actually a resemblance to Donald Duck.
Yeah, they've kind of put Donald Duck kind of design into the.
I kind
of like the design of the Stormtroopers, First Order Troopers, but I would like to if they kept Stormtrooper. Like, that's just me.
Yeah.
I understand they're no longer the Empire. They're kind of like a remnants of it, so they're now known as the First Order. But But I like Stormtrooper because it rolls off the tongue, and plus it's a historical thing with the SS as well because they were known as Stormtroopers, like the whole trooper thing with the Nazis.
Yeah.
So that's where they get their inspiration from, and obviously those on the bridge you see there's the uniforms and the badges. It's based off of Nazi uniforms, but I like the whole. It's more. I think it's because it's iconic and it's like nostalgic, I suppose.
Yeah.
More in Stormtrooper rather than here.
Like back in the Empire Strikes Back, you had the snow troopers on Hoth, and then you had, on Tatooine you had what's known as the Sand Trooper, which is basically a stormtrooper but with an orange.
They've got that anyway. Yeah, the First Order stormtroopers have all different ones anyway. I mean, I'm sat here looking at what have I got. I've got a First Order Flame Trooper, First Order Snow Trooper. Then that's only the 6-inch ones. Then the small scale ones, I've got Sand Trooper. They just basically have the same. They have the same stuff. It's just that they've got new. Oh, and I've got the. Range Troopers, Range Troopers boy load. So that's still an Empire one.
Hmm.
But that's it. They still have the different sorts of stormtroopers.
Then you have the ones that in Return of the Jedi that ride the speeders with
Scout Trooper. Yeah, Scout Trooper.
Well, I know, like the new First Order troopers, they are essentially the same thing, just they're renamed in this version.
Yeah,
you get different versions. Obviously, you got TIE fighters as well. So you got the pilots.
Yeah,
I really love the design of the TIE fighter pilot uniform, the helmet and just black. Just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said. When I seen the trailer for was it Rise of Skywalker, if that's what it's going to be called. And the only two things I liked about it was the new, what looks like a new TIE Interceptor. One that's black and red, and
TIE Silencer.
And Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, I'd heard he was going to be coming back, and I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good that they're bringing back the oldies back. I mean, like they brought Leia back, they brought Han back. I know they killed him off, but that was more or less like a mutual agreement with Harrison Ford because he was sick of playing the character.
Yeah.
And plus, he never really got the Star Wars thing to begin with. He was thankful for it because it got him famous, but he just didn't like Star Wars or anything. So he
didn't like Star Wars all that much, and
it was only kind of Mark Hamill and Leia that really embraced it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, Mark Hamill. He more or less got typecast as Luke Skywalker. It's, the only two things when you think of Mark Hamill, the only two things you can think about him is Luke Skywalker and doing the voice of the Joker. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whereas with Harrison Ford, is Han Solo, is Luke
Indiana Jones.
Han Solo is Indiana Jones. He's been in God knows how many other action films and like mystery detective films and Blade Runner and all stuff like that. And then same with Carrie Fisher. I mean, you might not think, but she'd been in loads of different films. She was in fucking Blues Brothers, for God's sake,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's only really Mark Hamill got kind of struggled and got typecast into that.
Well, yeah, because wasn't it in between the first two films when they wrapped up the first one, and he ended up in a really bad way. He kind of got into alcoholism, and been a bit of an alcoholic, drinking, and he some sort of car crash.
Yeah. Between Star Wars and Empire, he got like a scar on his face, didn't he?
Yeah, they kind of wrote it into the script as if it was kind of like got injured in a fight or something. But because apparently he also injured his hand, but he also he had burns to his face, and he had to have some sort of surgery.
Yeah.
And
I think Harrison Ford's got quite a big scar on his face, hasn't he? But they've never really.
No.
He's been in so many things.
But yeah, apparently, Mark Hamill went through a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really getting the recognition like everyone else was.
Yeah. Well, he bought himself a ranch, didn't he? At the end of Star Wars.
But I think it was him being able to do a successful career as a voice actor that really kind of brought him.
Yeah, brought him back out. Yeah, I mean, he has been in other stuff. Because he's in the what was it? There was a film. It's called Mutronics.
Yeah,
and it's also called The Guyver, but it's Guyver, and he was in that. He's been in quite a few sort of like B movies kind of thing. He's never really been starring Mark Hamill sort of thing.
No.
He's never really had that kind. I think that's because he's one of those people that he wasn't kind of ready for being a film star sort of thing.
No,
it's like before Star Wars, it's like both Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher have been in films.
yeah,
So he kind of already knew what it was like. But then it's like Mark Hamill comes along, and it's his first kind of proper acting gig sort of thing. I mean, he'd done little bits and bobs beforehand, but not much.
yeah.
And then overnight, he goes from being, third guy at the back looking at tomatoes in an episode of Metal Mickey to being Luke Skywalker, and it's like, I think that's one of the things that kind of hit him.
Yeah,
You find that a lot with like child actors and stuff as well. I mean, look at Stage.
exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? With child actors is like,
yeah. I mean, Mark Hamill weren't a child actor. It's just
but
he wasn't ready for it. I mean, it's like you talk about child actors. Look at fucking what's he called? The I See Dead People kid.
Oh,
Haley Joel Osment.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, look at state of him now. He's like, he's put a shit ton of weight on, and he's not really doing much by way of acting. And I think he was involved in something to do with drugs or something like that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they become famous at a young age. They don't know how to handle it. They've got all this money.
Yeah.
Which there probably is a lot of families put their kids into child acting to make money for them.
yeah.
Like that,
You see that happen a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the common case was the best well-known case was Macaulay Culkin ended up in a right mess.
Yeah. Ended up being fucking smoking crack and all sorts, didn't he?
And he was dragged through legal
money and all the work, all the money.
Yeah, I was saying, didn't he sue his parents because they basically pissed all his money up the wall, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, he was in a couple of episodes of was it Angry Video Game Nerd?
Yeah.
And it's like they said there, and you look at state of him, and it's like, fucking hell.
He's turned himself around a lot now, though. He looks a bit more respectable. I mean,
I think it's starting because. Yeah, I think it's because there's been like a sudden interest in, what happened to Macaulay Culkin kind of thing. Yeah. And he's started getting little bits and bobs of work here and there, and I think he's starting to turn himself around a bit. He's finally kind of grown up and accepted, this is what my life's going to be now, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, everyone that starts off being famous at a young age, they always end up going through some sort of either drugs, alcohol, or behavioural issues or something like that. Because they're too young when they're going into it. They're too young. They can't deal with it. So they kind of all that emotion, all that feeling, they just kind of go into something and end up.
Yeah, and the pressure that they're under as well. I mean, it's like they said there, the amount of pressure that they're under to perform and get everything right and basically be perfect and all stuff like that. And it gets to them. That's why I think that's why a lot of them end up on drugs, because it's like it's like the like beauty queens and stuff like that. When they start them off as little kids, and then some of them eventually gravitate towards like adult competition kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then it's like they'll be getting ready or whatever, and they'll feel tired. And somebody will come along and say, "Oh, you're feeling a bit tired and rough." "Oh, yeah, I am." "Yeah." "Oh, yeah, just take this," and give them some pills or something. And,
I know, and also the environment they're in the industry, the people that they'll obviously mix with.
Yeah,
will probably say, "Oh, this is how I cope with it."
Yeah, Yeah, that's it. And then they end up doing the thing where it's like, yeah, all right. So I took pills at one, competition, and it made me feel better. So can you get me some more so that I don't feel rough for next one? And then next thing it's like, oh, well, I was going to do this competition, but I'm not now because I'm fucking too busy looking for fucking crack or cocaine or something. Yeah, it's sad when that happens. That's what you get though for pushing kids to do stuff. It's like they say in like in acting and things like that. Like Hollywood and TV.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of special rules that they have to follow. If they have any child actors on set, like they're only allowed to work so many hours a day, and they've still got to have school and things like that.
Yeah, and then in certain scenes they'll switch them out for stunt doubles or photo doubles. Or obviously, if the kid's done their time for the day,
if they're doing a scene and it takes like 17 goes to get it right. That's basically the entire day done. So they haven't they can't move on to the next scene because kids already gone out their hours. So they have to like try and figure out, can we do any scenes where it's just the adult actors, just to get the rest of the day sorted, sort of thing. And it's sometimes you can't do that. It's like, well, we've done all adult scenes, so now we need, especially in a film where kids are the stars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you say, all them like fucking like Disney films and TV series starring kids and stuff like that. That must be a pain in the fucking arse to film.
Yeah.
It's like, the main characters are all kids, and you might have like a few adults as kind of background characters.
Yeah, because you had obviously what Miley Cyrus was famous for.
Yeah.
That kind of series.
Fucking Hannah Montana. Well, that's it. I mean, it's like you look back at like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And you've got, these 5 teenagers or whatever, but none of them were teenagers. They were all, like in the sort of, they were all like in their early 20s. And
I think Jason's actor, was it Austin St. John? He said he was still 18 when he started filming.
Yeah, but that's it. At that age, you're considered an adult. Yeah.
When he was cast, because there was quite a long period of like audition process before it started airing and that.
Yeah.
But apparently the oldest out of the whole thing is Billy.
Yeah, he was, yeah. And he was on the show for the longest time at the original 5.
Yeah.
But
he was only in his mid-20s when that started.
Yeah.
And it's like all the others were sort of, like kind of 18, 19, 20 kind of thing. And then he was in his mid-20s. And, that's what I said, though. That's why they do stuff like that. They have get older people to play teenagers, because then they can avoid all the, you're only allowed to work for 5 hours a day sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
The thing is, and they also say that because obviously at the time, I mean, Saban was a non-union company. So they didn't get paid very much.
No. I mean, that's what they did with what they call, Melissa Joan Hart, when she was doing, was it Clarissa Explains It All? And then she started with, then she disappeared for a couple of years and then came back with Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
And she says there, those years where she disappeared, that's when she was at college.
Yeah.
I said there, it's her parents insisted that she do college full time, to make sure that if the acting thing didn't work out, at least she got someone to fall back on.
Yeah.
And she's worth an absolute fucking mint now, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, so yeah, you had actors. I mean, you have some child actors who have now got very successful careers as an adult.
Yeah.
And usually that's because if they're able to, if they have been able to, stay off the dodgy path, if they've been guided, like Scarlett Johansson, she started out as a kid.
Yeah, and what they call her as well, her that were Mary Jane in the Spider-Man films. Yeah, that's it, yeah, because she started off when she was only a kiddie, and then she's done quite well for herself, yeah. But that's the thing.
She was in Small Soldiers.
Yeah. That's it. It just depends on the people you've got around you, I suppose. It's if people if the people that you've got around you are actually looking after you, or whether they're just seeing you as a, you know, as a way to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, in these things, the same thing happens with young pop stars, doesn't it? Or,
Yeah.
young,
I think it happens worse with young pop stars in a lot of ways, because, you know, the kind of music business is all you know, it's always been fraught with, you know, like fucking, well, you've got all the drugs and the groupies thing and stuff like that. I mean, just look at fucking, was it Justin Bieber? What a little bitch he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, literally, he's somebody that, you know, you know, as soon as he opens his mouth, you want to fucking punch him, because he's just a little bitch. You know, he's never been told no in his life. And, you know, it's like, oh, do you know who I am? Yeah, you're a little bitch. Smack.
Yeah, like I have heard he was always very whiny, even at the beginning. He used to whine, having enough.
Yeah, spoiled. I mean, when you look at how he got famous, it was basically his parents were quite well off anyway, so, you know, he's already got that chip on his shoulder about being better than you. And then, you know, his parents paid for, you know, like him to make music videos of, you know, not like, you know, music videos where you've done it in your bedroom or on your parents' cheap, crappy camcorder. You know, they actually got, you know, proper film crew and stuff like that to do fucking music videos and stuff. And then he got discovered and signed up by a record label, you know, and it's so he'd already got a chip on his shoulder to start with.
I think it was Usher that actually signed him.
It was a mixture between two. Apparently, Justin Timberlake discovered him and wanted to do it, but it was Usher in the end, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
But I don't care. I've never liked him from day one, and he's just because he's late. He's late to gigs. He has no respect for the fans. He's an asshole, really.
Who were it? There were that young lass that were sort of like the same, and there was that meme a while ago when she did meet and greets with fans, you know, and they paid like 200 quid to have a meet and greet with her, and then she'd like stand over here, and then you'd stand like, you know, fucking 10 foot away from her. And then they'd take your photo together because she didn't want anybody, you know, any of the scumbags coming near her or something. I can't remember who that was.
Wasn't Ariana Grande, was it?
No, I can't remember who it was.
Because she was one of this quite similar to.
I went to school with a chap with the chap who was One Direction's official drummer.
Yeah.
And he was in the year below me, so I'll still see him about the town sometimes when he comes home. And he tells me about things, and, you know, he says the lads were decent lads from what he saw of them, but they, you know, but they, you know, they did get up to trouble.
I need to figure out. I've got to find out who it was that was doing the fucking meet and greet meme now. Oh no, it's not there. It's not there. That's not right. Yeah. One of the lads was it was from Doncaster. It's like they said, the lads that were in like One Direction, they were just you know, they weren't like, you know, groomed for stardom sort of thing.
No.
They were you know, they were just kind of like normal lads before the start that went on like fucking Britain's Got Talent or whatever it was. Yeah, and then the Britain's Got Talent production team put them together as a group.
They were. So I was sad to watch the X Factor back then, but
yeah, it was Avril Lavigne that did the "You Must Stand a Long, Long Way Away from Me" meme. Because there's a picture here of what they call it. Avril Lavigne stood on Earth, and then somebody who was having the meet and greet stood on Pluto. Yeah, keep away from me, you scum.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She's Canadian and all. I thought they were all nice.
Yeah.
No, Canadians aren't all nice.
No.
It's the same as the opposite the opposite one. You know, like they say all Canadians are nice. Well, there's another one that says all South Africans are bastards. You know, there is occasionally a nice South African.
Yeah.
But most of them are twats. Oh. I'm going to say Spitting Image did the B-side of the Chicken song was actually a song called "I've Never Met a Nice South African."
If someone tried to release a song with that title now, I don't think.
Nah, you'd never get away with it now. Well, look, there's, you know, like how Sargon of Akkad's been going round, you know, because he's standing as an MEP for UKIP.
Yeah.
And he's been going around doing, you know, like, you know, the Stephen Crowder style, you know, like, you know, question and answer things in the street. And one of them that he's done is basically concentrating in and around the area, you know, where he's trying to get elected for.
Yeah.
And he did one the other day, and this woman comes up, you know, to sit down with him. And the very first thing she says, you know, when he goes, like, you know, like, he goes, "Oh, hi, what you called?" And she says her name and then shakes his hand. Then she goes, "I've shook hands with racists before." And it's like, oh, yeah, that's a nice way to start a conversation, isn't it, bitch? You know, it's like fucking, yeah. And she goes like, "Oh, I came from South Africa. You know, I come from South Africa." And he's like, "All right," you know. And then she's going on about like how it's, you know, how it's, you know, how it used to be all, you know, like apartheid and stuff in South Africa. And he's like, yeah, yeah. She goes, "But South Africa's doing really, really well now." And he's like, "Really?" He goes, "Have you seen news coming from South Africa recently?" You know, and then she's like, "Oh, no, it's doing great. And a lot of it's just, you know, like the papers, you know, like making things up." And it's like, and he just goes like, "Yeah, all right then, yeah." Apart from the fact that it's not doing very well at all. Yeah, there's rampant racism against white people in South Africa now. I mean, you look at places like when they did the, I think it was the Rugby World Cup, and they did it in, was it Durban or something like that? And the South African police really had to fucking watch what they were doing there, you know, keeping streets clear and stuff like that, because of literally all the fucking trouble that goes off in South Africa. You know, it's like Durban itself might look like a nice place, you know, but you know, it's one of them places where it's like, you know, it's quite a rich area, but they still have all the same problems, and it's a lot worse because a lot of the problems are, you know, racial based problems.
Exactly, yeah.
Gangs of blacks going out and looking for white people to beat up and stuff like that. You know, it's completely the opposite of you know, like in America, where you get gangs of, well, say gangs of whites, you tend not to find many gangs of whites anymore. It's mostly, you know, it's mostly like blacks and mixed race.
Yeah. I mean, well, when my dad first went to America for work to San Francisco, it was like 1996. On his last night before he came back, he went out for a beer at like 2:00 in the morning, and he was walking up this hill back to his hotel, and these two big black guys were like following him and saying, "Oh, come here, rich man, come here, tourist." So what he had to do, he ran to get a taxi and just said, "Oh, take as far as this thing will go."
Yeah,
that's not to say. I
mean, when we put Gaslands,
is it?
Yeah, I mean, when we were playing Gaslands last week, the one at lads there, and I said about San Francisco being a shithole now. And he's like, what do you mean? I says, well, like most of that particular part of the United States, you know, on the West Coast, they've got multiple problems with certain things. You know, they've got drugs, homelessness, you know, gang-related violence and stuff like that. I says, another problem is you know, like Mexican immigrants, you know, South American immigrants coming in, and because California has classed itself now as a sanctuary state, they're just letting anybody in. And San Francisco is quite literally, the streets are now paved with shit because they've got that many homeless people living there. They don't even bother, you know, like they'd go, you know, like try and find a toilet somewhere. Now they just don't bother because most of them are on drugs, so they're just, you know, fucking pissing shit in the street. You know, and he says, "Oh, I don't believe that." I says, "Believe it, it's happening." You know, it's same with.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there twice.
Yeah.
Was there once in 2006 for a few days with my mum and sister, and then I was out there for 2 weeks about 4 or 5 years ago. The area we stayed in was nice. I mean, the not very nice area is what's known as the gay area.
Yeah.
Which is very decent.
The entirety of San Francisco, though. City of brotherly love. Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it's like when you watch, like Dirty Harry and Bullet. You know, they're both set in San Francisco. And like during the 70s, it's like, all right, so there were the bits of it that were rough, but for the most part, it was all right. But it's like now, most of it's rough.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is, when I was in San Francisco back in late 2006 with my mum, we were there with my mum for a few days on the way back from. Well, we went from there to New Zealand. We flew from New Zealand to San Francisco. And, the hotel we were in was in a very rough area, and my mum generally didn't feel comfortable. She wanted to get us moved to a different hotel. I said, well, Mum, by the time we've got ourselves booked into a hotel, we'll be flying up to Los Angeles. We're only here for a few days.
Yeah.
And then when we got to LA, we heard that the night before we arrived, there'd been a murder outside the hotel we were fucking staying in.
I mean, it's like what they call it. Sammy's, he's. I don't know whether he's still there or whether he's come back yet, but he's in New York. When he said he was going to New York, and I just says there, like, don't get stabbed, because that's something that's happening a hell of a lot in fucking New York. Muggings.
Yeah.
Where they don't even try and mug you, they just run up, stab you, and then fucking go through your pockets and grab your bags or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was New York where that guy was streaming. He was streaming Pokemon Go on Twitch. While he was walking around park, and then while he's live streaming, somebody just walks up with a knife and goes, "Hey mate, do you just mind putting your wallet and that in this bag real quick?" While he's fucking live streaming. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Was it in Central Park?
I don't know. It was just somewhere. It was just like walking through park at night, looking for Pokemon, and all of a sudden somebody pops up and fucking mugged him. Yeah, but that's it. It's like the saying there, I mean, Paris is the same. It's like the same about Paris. It's this whole area of Paris that now look like, well, that's it. There's whole areas of Paris now that look like shanty towns, because of all the, tents and stuff that's been set up, and like lean-tos, because they've got, like Arabic. Arabic so-called asylum seekers, but they're nothing of the sort. Just turning up because Mummy Merkel said it's all right for you to come into Europe, and and there's what I say. We're watching thing there, and they've had to install, like these things in street for you to piss in. Just basically like buckets in the street for you to piss in to stop people. Well, or an attempt to stop people from. Just pissing and shitting in the street.
I know.
That's what they were doing there. And it's one of the reasons why, there's been all this, like, Yellow Vest protests. Because the actual French people that live there are getting a bit fucking sick of having piss taken out of them.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, who is it that's been in France recently? Again, I can't remember his name. Lives in Ireland. His missus is called Kim.
Yeah.
John, you should know. Kim,
Phil, what would you?
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, Phil's been in Paris recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to say it's. I know the Yellow Vest stuff's still going on. The still.
They sort of like urinal things they put up or something just in the street. People can.
They just look like 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 you walk around town. They've got the waste bins that's just like a cylinder, and then it's got a hole cut in for you to put the rubbish in. Yeah. They look sort of like that, except they've got like the top's kind of like bent in a bit, so that you can either stand and piss in it, or if you want to shit, you can sort of like squat over the top of it and have a shit in it. Yeah, and that's what they've set up there in these areas where it's like where it's like a fucking shanty town. because there was sicker. It's literally people were saying there they got to have, like sort of council cleaners going out hosing the fucking pavements and stuff down because people were just shitting in the street. But then the cleaners were going out and trying to clean up these areas where all these homeless people live, and they were getting attacked.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they're trying to clean the area up, like, oh look, we'd clear all this rubbish away and all these needles and tab ends and all this piss and shit and everything, and all these fuckers were there like fucking going for them. It's like, so you like living in filth then?
Oh God.
Yeah.
As I say,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. Walking around minding your own business and then seeing people pissing and shitting into
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah. Well, that's it. They had a real problem with, like beggars. Like the Arabic beggars. Where people are going, going on holiday, to Paris, because obviously it's Paris.
Yeah.
It's one of the oldest cities in the world. One of the oldest modern cities in the world.
Obviously, yeah.
And they're queuing up or whatever, or trying to take photos of, like the Eiffel Tower and the Notre Dame and all stuff like that, and the Louvre and everything. And then they're getting gangs of, like Arabs coming wandering up, demanding money off them and stuff, and not like, oh, can you spare 20p, mate? They're like, give me your fucking wallet, sort of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of places that aren't safe. You got to have eyes in the back of your head and wits about you all the time, no?
Yeah, I mean, at least, it might sound bad to say. At least it's not as that bad here. It can be, but it's not uniformly that bad here. There's certain parts of the UK that are like that. I mean, it's like they've said, it's like Birmingham and Luton and stuff like that. Which
whenever I've been down to London, I generally feel quite safe when I've walked around there on my own.
Yeah,
I've felt generally quite safe.
Yeah,
it's these bloody terrorist things that go on there.
Oh, bloody terrorists! Bloody terrorists! They have to ruin everything, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. It's like I mean, like I haven't been to London for years.
What I tend to want to be able to look out for in London is, is someone going to suddenly drive a car into me?
Yeah, is somebody? I'm going to say, is somebody going to come at you with one of these, the truck of peace?
Yeah.
Riding down the road in the truck of peace.
Just run over him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I haven't been to London for years, but when last time I went, I got a bit pissed off because it's literally everywhere you go, all you can hear is foreign language.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, all right, so London is what they call an international city now. There's a lot of people there, which is yeah, fair enough, whatever. But when it's at the point where you can't find anybody who's fucking English. It's like there's not many English people in the capital of England. It's kind of a bit of a bugger, Mind you, it was the same when I went to Dublin with work. I went to Dublin and most of the people there were like all fucking Scousers. I don't know why. So I went to Dublin with work and we had to go on the Friday morning, then we had to do a training session Friday afternoon. And then we had to do something Saturday afternoon. So it basically meant on Friday night we could go for a drink. And it's like, it's Ireland, it's Friday night, let's go for a drink. Go to pubs, and it's all like, Scousers working behind the bar and, people from England, in the pub and whatnot. And it's just like, aren't there any Irish people living in fucking Ireland anymore?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think a lot of Irish people, though, they have moved away because I think because the economic crisis, hit Ireland really.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm going to say Ireland did get hit pretty badly. I mean, Ireland nearly went bankrupt. It was only because they managed to apply for help from the EU that kept them out of it. which is one of the reasons why they're so enamored with the EU, because the EU kind of helped them. It's same with Scotland. Scotland gets a lot of money from the EU.
Yeah, they were considering, they had a vote to leave at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's whereas the what they call it, the Scottish Nationalist Party thought that would be a great idea, and then the EU pointed out to them that Scotland isn't a member of the EU. It's Britain is a member of the EU. So if Scotland left Britain, then they'd have to go through the application process to join the EU, which would effectively turn Scotland into a third world country at the minute they declared independence.
Well, it would.
Yeah, that's it. It's all the all the stuff from from England, England, Wales, and Ireland. All the money that comes from there to Scotland would stop. They'd obviously have to buy. They'd obviously have to come up with the money to buy, assets that belong to the British government off the British government, sort of thing. And it was all stuff like that they'd not really considered. They were just basically being nationalistic, and it kind of backfired on them because people were like, well, what's the point in leaving the union and being his own country and then having to try and join the EU to get the money back,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. No, but I don't know. Oh, it's funny that I'm going to say we're getting up to the time of year when everybody's going to start going off on fucking holidays and shit.
Yeah. Well, my mum and her partner, they've gone out to China to see my sister because she's still out there.
Oh yeah, I remember your sister when you were talking about her and saying that she was going away, and where you were talking about it made it sound like she was going to prison or something.
No, she went to, no, she's out there for university.
Yeah.
But she's had a small operation while she's been out there.
Yeah.
And
what the call I'm to say, it's because it's that time of year when people are going to start going on holidays. It's like festivals and shit. Before long, all Facebook will be like, you'll turn Facebook on in the morning, all you'll see is like people on fucking holiday and at festivals and shit while you're still sat there at home. You're like, fuck's sakes, I'm sat at home again because I'm fucking skinned.
To be honest, I get probably just as much enjoyment. Well, I don't know how much. Well, yeah, I get plenty. I feel quite happy. We'll be going to a convention for a weekend during the summer, and then going off somewhere exotic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind traveling. It's I'm not one of those people though that would go abroad just for sake of it, sort of thing. It's sitting around on beaches all day doesn't really appeal to me. I mean, it's like my mum. My mum, she quite likes that, and go away and just sitting on beach or whatever. But I don't. I get, it's like I said, because my mind's so active, I get bored really easily.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The last sort of exotic place I went to Magaluf a couple of years ago. My mum and her partner. I spent a lot of time on by myself while they were doing their own thing. I was like sitting in the pubs and on the resort, and I always had my phone on me. And obviously there was the one night I went clubbing. Which was.
Yeah. I mean, there's places that I wouldn't mind going, but it wouldn't be, for your kind of typical, holiday sort of thing. I mean, it's like I don't drink, so that's not even a fucking question for me. So it's like, stuff. But it's like, I mean, even if you go far east, place like Thailand and stuff like that, it's, most of the people that I see that go out to places like that, they just go out there for the drinking thing, and it's just like, well, that doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. Neither does places like like Amsterdam, because that's just basically drink and drugs. That's it.
I know.
Like, drink, drugs, prostitutes, and windmills. That's all that's there. That doesn't really appeal to me. But then it's like, I don't know, going somewhere. I can't even think of anywhere. I mean, obviously, I'd quite like to go to Tokyo.
I would as well.
I'll be able to find stuff. I'll be able to find loads of stuff to do in Japan. No worries. Same with America. I can find plenty of stuff to do in America. Canada, maybe not so much.
I went to Toronto. Toronto's nice. But...
Yeah, well, it's like I say, like Canada and stuff. I wouldn't mind going up. You know, the bits where it's like fucking like the Yukon territory and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, places where it's nice and cold and snowy and there's lots of nice mountains and you know, there's a lot of history up there, sort of thing. But yeah, it's places like, you know, like Benidorm and stuff like that. And they just hold no interest for me. It's just basically Benidorm. It's just a big pub.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I would absolutely love, and I really hope that one day I will go to Japan. I don't know how I'm ever going to afford it, but
yeah, I know. That's what I've hit up against. It's like I could go tomorrow, provided that suddenly I became extremely rich. Because it is quite expensive in Japan.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you see things and they're like, you know, like, oh, this is 4,000 yen, and you think, fucking hell, 4,000 yen. It's like, yeah, that's cheap. Yeah, 4,000 yen is cheap. You know, fucking something that's like, you know, 50,000 yen. That's starting to get into the expensive area, and stuff's priced, you know, more along the lines of 50,000 yen than it is 4,000. You know. 4,000 yen's like about a couple of quid, I think.
Yeah.
To a couple of quid. Yeah, it's quite expensive in Japan, but it's fucking awesome.
yeah,
You've got the whole kind of neon metropolises like you know, like Tokyo and everything like that. And then you've got the all the kind of you know, mountain things like Mount Fuji and all the things like that, the monasteries and the castles and stuff like that, you know, and all of it seeped in history.
yeah.
You know, and it's not just recent history either. You know, you've got all the like World War II stuff and everything, and you've got stuff going right back to, you know, the Middle Ages and the samurai and everything like that. You know, it's all cool. You know, same with China. China's the same.
I mean, my dad's been out there a few weeks ago. He went a few weeks before my mum and her partner went to see my sister, and I heard he's bought me a few things.
Yeah, bought you a few things. I got you a couple of things cheap. Like, got you these things that you know, like these toys or whatever. You're like, oh, nice one. Then when you look at the thing, it's like the covered in lead paint. Covered in lead paint made out of plastic that if you look at it in the wrong way, it shatters and like stabs you in the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, you know, Lawrence, you've been saying for many years now you wanted an iPhone. Well, we found one really cheap in China. Here you go.
Here you go. Shatter. My eyes. That's why it's called the iPhone. Yeah. Hey, Lawrence, look what we got here while we're in China. We got somebody committing suicide off the top of the Apple factory. I love that. You know, you said there that loads of people that work at the Apple factories that's in China were killing themselves so regularly that they had to install nets around the top of the building to stop people jumping off. Because people were actually going to work and they were working that longer hours for, you know, basically long hours, and it's a hard job and a boring job at that, and getting paid next to nothing. You know, that people were just literally going up on the roof and fucking throwing themselves off.
Yeah.
And it's not got that bad in this country yet, but I can see it. I mean, I watched there's been things on, you know, like on you know, telly and that, and I watched the documentaries like when they turned up on YouTube, you know, about places like Sports Direct and JD Sports and all stuff like that, you know, with the way that they treat people in the warehouses.
I know.
Amazon as well, and it's just like literally they don't want people working there, they just want machines.
Yeah, I know. In some ways, I'm quite thankful that I can't really do that type of work.
Yeah. I mean, seeing what they do to people at Amazon. I mean, there was one I sat and watched yesterday, and that was about JD Sports. And I don't know how old it was. It must have been a couple of years old, and it was like, oh, you have to get to work at least half an hour early, because you have to queue up to get into work because everybody has to go through, They have to be searched before they go in, and then they have to scan the fingerprints in to prove that they were at work. And and then when you come out, you always end up leaving work anything up to half an hour late because of having to do the same thing in reverse.
Yeah, so it's never, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, you can't wear any
bloody security check.
Yeah, you can't wear any clothing that had any kind of brand name or logo on it because they'd automatically assume that you'd thieved it out at warehouse. You couldn't have any, even though you were working on your own, you couldn't have any like your MP3 player or anything like that, or your phone on you. Because obviously they're like, oh well, that's distracting you from your work. You couldn't have chewing gum, you couldn't have cigarettes. It's basically you were allowed to take personal items in, but you were given like a little Ziploc baggie, and anything you wanted to take in had to be placed in this Ziploc baggie so they could see what it was. And it said there they were like just treating people like fucking animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say the only kind of when I've done work in a shop before, I mean, if I've worked in the warehouse area of the shop, before you go, well, if you've worked in the shop, they've had to do searches in my bags and stuff before I go to make sure I haven't like nicked any money out the till.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, you can understand them wanting to be careful about things getting nicked, but it's like they were doing what they call it, like pat downs and stuff during the course of the shift. It showed you like the woman that they've got about 2 or 3 people in there doing secret filming, and I think it was twice. Basically, they were only supposed to search you when you went in and when you went out, but then they've got security staff just coming around and just basically everybody got searched when they went in, and then you get searched while you were on shift. At least once. You might get it twice, and then you'd be searched on your way out as well. And then they were saying like, it's to stop people nicking stuff. It's like, well, surely you'd find it if they nicked something and they were on the way out with it.
Yeah.
And then they got like one of them said that she'd been moving boxes about, and she just said to manager, is it all right if I just have a sit down for 5 minutes? And he's like, oh no, you can't sit down because I've sacked people for sitting down. And it's like it's a 12-hour shift. Yeah, and it's a 12-hour shift as well. So you're expected to be up on your feet, walking around carrying boxes for 12 hours straight. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, mind you, it's pretty much the fucking same no matter where you go now.
Mm-hmm.
I know watching some of them thingies on YouTube, where people read out stories that people's posted on Reddit.
Yeah,
and one of them were about stupid rules that bosses have implemented in the workplace, sort of thing. One of them was that their manager had instituted a rule of no personal conversations. It's basically any talking was to be done with work, had to be about work only. And it's like, well, that might seem a good idea, to cut down on, like fucking backstabbing and gossiping and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they said there, its productivity dropped because everybody would just come into work and, just having that little chat with the person sat next to you while you're doing stuff, it kind of keeps you going, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Everybody were coming to work, and because they weren't allowed to talk to each other, they were just sat there miserable all the time.
Yeah, when I was working for Remploy, I mean, the manager of the manager of the office, she noticed that a lot of people, because Remploy is a disability-friendly company, or at least it was. She felt that people did take advantage of the fact that there wasn't a lot of pressure put on you, and they started having to be a lot stricter and monitor the amount of work that each employee was doing throughout the day, because a lot of stuff, every 10 fucking minutes the same person gets up and makes a cup of tea.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Noticing like they're monitoring. They keep eyes on them, monitoring the phones, and each team leader's keeping them out. And people were doing things like going out on their phone, supposedly on their shift, not on their break, to take personal on their mobiles. And that I mean, and
Yeah.
productivity dropped. I think that.
Yeah, I mean that was that they had on that thing about this JD Sports. They were on, like, you know, like about targets, and they set there the you know the kind of Packers thing, and they said there they had to do the target was 50 boxes per hour. So, you know, basically 50 boxes per hour spread out over your 12-hour shift sort of thing. And what some of them figured out was that it does it on an average. So basically by the end of the night, you've got to have done, you know, 50 times 12. And they figured out, you know, like if you can do your first few hours doing, you know, some of them could do like, you know, 75 or 80 boxes in an hour. So it's like they went there, well, if I do first few hours doing 75 or 80 boxes, and then towards the end of my shift, I can start slowing down a bit, you know, sort of thing. You know, when you start getting tired. And they were having a go at them for that. They had a go at them for that because they said, oh, it's classed as fraud. So they all basically, you know, started working to rule and only doing 50 boxes per hour, you know, slowing down. And then they noticed that, you know, productivity had dropped. So they were coming and saying, well, how come productivity has dropped? You know, and they said, well, you told us that, you know, you wanted it to be 50 boxes per hour, not, you know, like 80 to start off with and then maybe 40 an hour towards end. You know, so it averages out. And then they were like, oh, yeah, well, that's fraud as well because you're cheating the system. You're not working to your full potential. It's like, so you can't win, basically.
No, it's to do with the power, isn't it? It's to
do with just power, yeah. I mean, when you send some of these supervisors that they've got, you know, that were coming out with all this shit, like, you know, oh, you can't sit down, you can't go to the toilet, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're all, you know, like snot-nosed little shits that, you know, if you send them in pub or something and they started spouting off like that, they'd soon find themselves with blood pissing out the nose sort of thing. What time is it anyway? Oh, it's 12. Yeah. Oh.
Should we call it in a bit soon, lads? Because
so you're getting a bit. I'm going to say because you're looking a bit tired, Laurie.
Am I?
Yeah, you do look a bit tired. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I don't really feel tired, but you know, it's a strange thing, isn't it? Because sometimes I sleep a bit funny. Sort of, I can sleep for a few hours during the day sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I tend to do that. I tend to do that a lot. I mean, it's like I say, I got a full night's sleep last night. Well, I've had a full night's sleep for the last 3-4 days running, which, you know, is good. That's a good for me, you know, because normally I'll get like a couple of hours and then have to wake up and, you know, whatever, and then end up going back to sleep and then falling asleep during the day. So I've not been too bad. It's just today after I've had my dinner and I had steak. What is it? Steak, proper chips, and peppercorn sauce, and it was lovely.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I ate that, it's like I ate that, and then I was watching a film, and then I must have fell asleep at some point because I don't remember seeing the end of the film. And
yeah,
that's how I woke up and it were about 11:15 times.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I had the healthiest meal I've had in probably at least a week today. I had a blinking spag bol.
Yeah.
And the past 4 weeks, it's been 4 days. It's been like blinking takeaways for dinner.
Yeah. You want to watch that because I know I got into a spiral of that at one point where you can't be asked to do all and you're just having fucking takeaways and it makes you ill. You know, I can't understand. There's some people they don't even bother buying food. You know, like if they do buy food, it's just like, you know, bread, maybe something for sandwiches, and maybe like a tin of beans or something. You know, and then all their other food they just get takeaways and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, one, that's really expensive, and two, it's not good for you.
No. It's
I'm cooking Chinese and burgers and pizzas and stuff every night. You know, you're going to put a load of fucking weight on because it's just grease.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes you feel bad as well, you know.
Whenever I have a burger or a kebab, I always make sure I get a good portion of lettuce and onions with it.
But that's one of them things like, you know, like it's you get a kebab and get like lettuce and onions and stuff, but just because you've done that, it don't cancel the kebab out.
No, it doesn't.
It's not the people that go and they'll do hours and hours at the gym and then get chippy on the way home and justify it by saying, yeah, but I've just lost a load of weight by being at the gym. It's like, no.
You've just put it back on.
Yeah. I mean, they said there, if you eat a Big Mac, in order to get rid of the energy for that, you'd have to run like a full marathon or something like that, just to get rid of the fat and the sugar and stuff out of the Big Mac.
Me, it's more noodle bars and
noodles are surprisingly fattening. That's the weird thing. You won't think it, but it depends how you do it. It's like they're like like super noodles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You put them in a bowl and then pour water on them, and and give them a swizzle and then eat them. Them and the sort of stuff you get from noodle bars are completely different, because the stuff that you get from noodle bars, it's all greasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, I'm not sure exactly what it is that they do when they're cooking them. I don't know whether it's like the fry them in oil, like the wet them up and then fry them in oil or something like that. Like similar to when you're making fried rice. But yeah, they're all like greasy and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the healthiest sort of takeaway food I can get in this town is likely is Subway, and really that's the only kind of big chain we've got now, because we've just got our KFC's shut down. And there's a McDonald's on the outskirts of the town, but I mean, I suppose in Doncaster and Hull, you've probably got like places like Maryland Chicken, extremely.
We've got loads of takeaways sort of things. There's loads of them. If basically anything you want, you can have. Like pizza, burgers, fucking curries.
Oh yeah.
We do have some shops in town though that they're not like takeaways, but like you can get stuff from them. Like we've got a place that sells like noodle bar and stuff like that. And then we've got your Subways and your Greggs and all things like that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a Subway, I've got a Greggs. So on the blinking worst days of an outdoors, to the market for a blinking sausage butty for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
And then sausage and bacon butty. And then,
with mushrooms on it.
I haven't had mushrooms on it for a while, but I used to, because when I worked at the Remploy office, just opposite, it was on the outskirts of the city, but they, like those, like these burger bar places that they just have.
Yeah.
And like a mobile sort of burger bar, and everyone used to have their breakfast got from there on a Friday morning.
They're fucking what they call it. They're fucking lethal to me then, because the burger van. Because it doesn't matter whether I've had anything to eat or not. It's if I walk along and smell one of them, I've got to have one.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just that they have that smell, don't they? And it's that only that plate, only those burger vans have that smell.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
greasy.
I used to go to, they do breakfasts. They do like breakfast cobs and stuff. And then and then you get like a fried chicken sandwich or a burger for your lunch, and then.
Oh, stop it! I want something to eat now. Yeah, but no, it's like I said there. The what they call it. Oh fuck! I forgot what I want to say now. Yeah, I found that Greggs do this thing. It's like basically the sandwiches like what you get at Subway.
Yeah,
the pre-made, the cheaper, and they taste a hell of a lot better. It's went to Subway the other week while we're out and about. Called in Subway and I got 2 6-inch steak and cheese subs. One for my mum, and it cost like a tenner.
Yeah.
And then we went in Greggs, and they've got steak and cheese, like steak and cheese full length baguette, so 12 inches, just in like these brown paper bags, and you go and you pay, get them warmed up, £3 each.
Yeah.
And the taste is so better. They actually taste like fucking cardboard.
I'm not a big fan of their pizza slices, but I do like Greggs baguettes.
Yeah. Tuna crunch.
Yeah, the only negative thing is I tend to prefer the ones without salad at Greggs.
Yeah.
A ham and cheese baguette.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I have to be careful if I have oat with salad on it because I'm allergic to tomato. So.
Oh, well, I hate tomatoes anyway.
Yeah, I'm allergic to it, so it's like usually when I go and I have a look at sandwiches and it'll say like, ham salad, and I'll go, oh, ham salad, and then I'll look at it and see that distinctive fucking slice of red shit in it, and I'm like, nope, can't have that. Ugh.
What I like about Subway is at least you can pick your salad. Normally, for my gets at Subway, I'll get it's always lettuce and peppers with some hot chili sauce. That's what I always want.
There used to be a really nice place when I worked in Sheffield, where I always used to go for my breakfast, and they used to serve bagels. Breakfast bagels. They had about sort of a dozen different bagels you could choose from, and then think Subway but with bagels.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. And I used to go in the morning and I'd get a bacon and cream cheese bagel because they had that on a special one day, and they went like, oh, bacon and cream cheese on any bagel you want, and it was like £1. And I just went in once and I thought like, oh, I'll try that, it's only £1. And then every day I was going back, can I have bacon and cream cheese please, like that, and it was gorgeous, but it's not there anymore.
No.
So we are talking like 10-15 years since I worked in Sheffield, like, so
yeah. Well, the thing is, whenever I go to see my dad,
moved on since then.
I mean, whenever I go to see my dad in Poland or Brussels, like in the mornings, for breakfast we have like traditional European breakfast, which is like bread, meats, and cheese and things.
Yeah.
And I love that. And the good thing is we can have it at home when we're there.
Yeah. Well, that's it. When you get Europeans, when they go like, the traditional English breakfast is, like bacon and sausage and stuff like that, and then they go like, oh, why do the English eat that? And it's like, well, why the fuck do you eat like meat for breakfast in your countries? Because it's like I don't think there isn't a European country that doesn't have like a traditional breakfast that doesn't include some sort of meat.
No.
It's like, well, what's
cold cuts. I like cold cuts.
Yeah.
I like cheese, and I'll happily I'll happily have a few sort of things like peppers, because they do have vegetables. I mean, in Australia, when I was in I think it was first place was in Australia. The first place Australia. What was the first place we went? Brisbane. When we arrived there, they had like these chicken sausages and noodles for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, sausages are like chicken sausages rather than pork ones.
Yeah.
And they actually
were they like proper sausages or hot dogs?
No, they were like proper English. Well, like breakfast sausages. They were just made from chicken.
Yeah. So
they have them with noodles.
I know I've seen a couple of people get like said chicken sausages, and when showing me they just look like hot dogs. I do know you can buy. Well, I'm going to say when went Aldi the other day, they sell like chicken sausages and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know why it just doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather eat chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just like, I know it's basically the same stuff, but it's just like, sausages are supposed to have a certain taste, and that taste is not chicken.
No.
That's why I don't particularly like, when you get them like, where it'll say, I don't know, like tomato sausages and things like that. I never really.
I used to like them when I was a kid, because my dad used to, when we used to have a barbecue when I was little, my dad would always do tomato sausages.
Yeah. Tomato sausage.
The thing is, I don't tend to go and buy like traditional, like the cheap sort of hot dogs you can buy on hot dog stands. But when you have like these food markets and things that do these proper Belgian sausages, German sausages, I must go and have one.
Yeah, I do. There's one that comes to Doncaster every so often, and it's the same stall always sets up, and they've just basically got like a big fucking grill going in the middle of this stall. And,
I know.
It's all different sorts of German sausages, and or is it the currywurst is really nice. Yeah, you fucking sausage like about this long. Yeah, can I have a currywurst, please? Like, yeah, do you want sauce on It's like,
yeah. Well, do you remember it?
They give you a sausage that's long, and then the fucking bread cake, like the little cob or roll that they give you is like that. So just put this sausage. It's like, so I suppose I'm supposed to eat the ends first before I touch the bread.
Yeah, I think I remember having one of those because I lived in Germany for a few weeks at a time when I was a kid. We'd go over, and I remember having them in like Frankfurt. What's it? Other things. Well, do you remember at Doncaster last year? They, in the outdoor, they had like that outdoor noodle bar little thing.
Oh, that turns up at the food market thing when they have it every time.
Yeah, I mean, I had my breakfast. I had my lunch and my dinner there that day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when they do that food market, there's some rats. There used to be one, and I don't think it comes anymore. It used to have this Egyptian thing, and it was really, really fucking nice.
Yeah.
I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, and it was just like, it was like chicken and spices and stuff mixed with, I don't know, it was like couscous or something like that. And it had a name, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, and it was really nice, and I've never seen him since I got that. But then there used to be one there. It was it was like selling vegetarian stuff, and I got some garlic mushrooms. Because I was hungry. I was walking past it once, so I'd got like about £1 in my pocket, and I just thought, I need to have something to eat. I just looked and just said garlic mushrooms £1, and I'm thinking, like them ones that you get that's like battered and whatever. Yeah. And it weren't. It were just sliced mushrooms in this like really thick, creamy garlic sauce, a big bowl of them for £1. And I was like, "Oh, this is really nice." Not seen that one either since.
I think the most. I mean, it's I mean, we get like decent sort of burger stands that do relatively fresh cooked stuff, like the hot dogs and stuff. When we have like on a carnival. Or the late night shopping for Christmas, or we get a food market that comes around sort of October. Or actually, no, we have a farmers market that comes during the summer that's in the town centre here for about a month, and we can get real farmers burger.
Yeah. We used to get. I don't know whether they still do anymore because Doncaster Market they're doing all sorts of things with it at the minute, and it's like remodeling and changing how it is. And we used to get a farmer's market that come, and there used to be one stall there and used to sell like, unusual meat. Like that's where you could get, like crocodile burgers and, ostrich steaks and things like that. And I used to buy, I got kangaroo burgers.
Oh,
I got some
I really like
kangaroo meat. I got some, snake? Can't remember what it were. They were just basically just like, like circles of meat, sort of thing, like sort of like medallion steaks, but made out of with snake instead. And it was all really nice, but I don't know. But it's expensive, and I don't know whether they still have it anymore. Yeah, I'll tell you something that's not doing too well with regards to healthy food: vegan places.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's quite a few of them popped up in Doncaster over the last 18 months or so, and they've never lasted very long. There's one that's still going. I can't remember. I don't think it's called. Was it the Strawberry Cafe or something? But they do like vegan stuff, but they also do like normal stuff as well. And that one seems to be the one that's managed to carry on the longest, because I think they've sort of figured out that most people aren't vegan, and most people have absolutely no interest in becoming vegan.
No.
And, basically alienating, 90% of your available customer base isn't a very good idea. I mean, it's a lot of these that have decided to be vegan have now gone back to either being just vegetarian or going back to eating meat, because a lot of them kind of took it on as a kind of I'm better than you thing. And turns out that it's made them ill.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, obviously, if you've been used to, having meat in your body and stuff, and then you suddenly decide to stop, your body's bound.
It's not only that. Yeah, it's not. It's not only that. It's the thing is, you can switch over to a full vegan diet, and it be all right for you. You know, regardless of whether you've eaten meat and stuff before. It's a case of doing it properly. And a lot of people they kind of switched over to being vegan and they didn't do it properly. You know, it's like when
no meat, no eggs, no milk, no.
Yeah, but they switched over, like doing that, and like, oh, I'm only going to drink soy milk from now on and stuff, and they just didn't do it properly, because one of the things is the vegan diet lacks a lot of the like proper nutrition that your body needs, which you have to get from other avenues. It's like, say, you can stop eating meat and then forgetting like your main sources of protein, stuff like that, eating things like avocados and peanut butter and cheese. Well, not cheese if you're a vegan, but and they didn't realize that. They just thought, oh well, if I just start eating no but vegetables and drinking soy milk, I'll be fine. And it's like, no, it don't work like that. You end up with a bad stomach and bad guts, and then like the teeth start falling out and things like that.
I think what was it? Trying to think. The only full-on vegan meal I've ever had was I think it was when we were in London. My dad, his girlfriend, and her daughter, and my half sister. We went to a Japanese place, and we had like vegan sushi, which was actually quite nice. But I'm thinking about it. There is no way I could eat this sort of thing.
No, I mean, I went vegetarian for a bit at one point, and it didn't agree with me. It just didn't agree with me. It's like I was eating stuff, and it was all right, but I just didn't enjoy my food, and that's one of the things that's that you've got to do. You've got to be able to enjoy your food, sort of thing.
Yeah, the thing is,
if you're not enjoying your food, then we might as well, switch over to just having like fucking, tasteless protein bars.
Yeah, recently, obviously, because I see a support worker a couple of times a week, and I see one in Leicester, in the city, in one morning a week, just to get out and about and get help with looking for work and stuff. And I got there, it was like 12 noon, and I hadn't eaten anything. I was very hungry, and I said, right, I'm going to meet him near where Burger King is. I said, right, I want to go Burger King today because I'm desperate for something to eat. He says, well, can't we go somewhere, that's, can't we go somewhere that's a bit healthier? Because you said you're trying to watch your weight. And I said, yeah, I know. Well, I haven't eaten a lot of fast food this week, and he said, I said to him, I said, don't you ever eat fast food when you get desperate? I said, well, hardly ever. I said, I know, and I do like it, but I won't eat it. I won't eat it. I said, no, but he didn't actually stop me from going in.
It's none of his business what you eat. If you say, oh, I'm trying to watch my weight. Yeah, if you say like, I'm trying to watch my weight or whatever, you can still have the occasional bit of shit. If you want one, it's not anybody else's place to tell you that you can't you must not eat that, which is, like I said, that's the attitude that a lot of, mostly vegans, but some vegetarians have as well. It's like, fuck you, I don't tell you can't eat fucking lettuce.
I mean, in Leicester, they had this really, really nice place. It was actually a healthy sort of version of fast food. It was a place called Mission Burrito. And they actually did the best, and they were freshly cooked burritos, all the meat and all the veg, and they were, and they were prepared quickly, but it was only there for just over a year. And I would go there several times a week. It was so good. Freshly cooked, a fresh burrito, not too pricey. And
yeah, sounds nice. Imagine we've got a Taco Bell in Doncaster now, but I've not been in because the place.
I didn't know there was any. I've never seen any of them in the UK.
Yeah, Taco Bell. Yeah. So we've got Taco Bell, but I've not been in because it just holds absolutely no interest for me. You know, it's
whenever I've gone to America, one of the things I make sure I do is have a Taco Bell. I heard that there was some outlet opening in Liverpool.
So there's a thing in there. Hang on, let me have a look. Taco Bell.
We've got a taco place.
I think there's a few here now. It's occasionally some of the American, you know, more you know, sort of well-known American places do try and make what they call it's in you know, in inroads into Britain, but they don't.
I'm aware. I think there are Wendy's in some places, but I've never seen them. Okay.
Yeah, we used to have a Wendy's in Doncaster, but that opened and closed many years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just looking here. Yeah. There's quite a few Taco Bells in the UK now.
Yeah.
Just looking at Google Maps. Yeah, Chelmsford, Grays, Basildon, Southend-on-Sea. What else is there? Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's like for years, you know, Doncaster didn't have a McDonald's. You know, and it's one of those things that you know, Doncaster didn't have a McDonald's, and then I think the McDonald's that we've got in Doncaster, the main one that's in the town centre, opened up sometime in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like you'd seen it on TV. You know, like you'd be watching telly and be going on about McDonald's, and you're like, "What's McDonald's?" And like my nan explained, "Oh, it's a bit like Wimpy Bar," you know, because we used to have a Wimpy, and
I say the closest Wimpy to us was I think we had I think the closest Wimpy was in somewhere not so far from us. I always used to see Wimpys in bowling places.
Yeah, because that's what they did at what they call it. They kind of scaled it back, you know, because once McDonald's and Burger King started up, they kind of scaled it back. I mean, we didn't have a first Burger King I had was when I went to London with my nan in I think it was 1988. I've never seen a Burger King before, and then you know a few years later one opened up in Doncaster, and I was like, oh, you know.
As I say, if I want a Burger King or a KFC or maybe a McDonald's, I'm gonna, unless my mum can, you know, unless I can go out with my mum somewhere, I'm gonna have to go all the way to bloody Leicester. But you know, but
this where the place where I live now, there's no like, you know, takeaways or chippies within walking distance. You know, it's the nearest sort of takeaway, you know, or food place of any description is in the next village over.
Yeah. You know, well, you see, the thing is, well, I'm very fortunate to live in the part of town where I live. It's literally I'm literally practically in the town centre. I think you might have. Do you have a place called Flames, which is like a burger? Do you have any?
Yes, we do.
Like, yeah. That's where I get a lot of my, because I'm always get tempted if I've been out to the pub for the evening or something. I get tempted to go in there on the way home. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of the kind of, you know, like chicken and burger shop places or kebab shops or whatever are franchises now. You know, it's like Sun Fried Chicken. It's, you know, at one point, you know, like you'd see a shop that was called Sun Fried Chicken, and it would just be owned by, you know, the person that owned it. But a lot of them now are there's an actual franchise called Southern Fried Chicken, and you know, they set them up with all the, you know, all the cooking gear and everything like that, and the meat and everything.
Yeah, and
you know,
also, we've got a piri chicken.
We haven't got one of those.
We've got we have Domino's as well as our local pizza. As well as our local pizza outlet.
Yeah.
They have Domino's. Got several Chinese places.
No, it's like I say, it's around here. You can have basically whatever you want. The only things that don't do that I've noticed that there isn't anything of is Thai. There's not much Thai stuff.
I've got a brilliant Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
I love a Thai curry meat.
Oh yeah, I like the red one and the yellow one. The red one's nice and spicy, and the yellow one is nice and creamy. or technically sometimes when I've asked for a yellow curry, I've had an orange curry. It's turned up and it's orange, but it's still nice and creamy.
Yeah.
It's all like coconut milk and stuff they put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like
Oh yeah. So, I don't know. Oh.
All right, guys. Shall we call it for tonight?
Yeah, can do if you want.
Yeah.
How are you, John? Yeah, it's been a few hours now, hasn't it?
It's been for a while.
That's what I say. I didn't wake up till about 11:15, so yeah, it's been about 2 hours, I think. Oh yeah. Aha.
All right then, guys. All right then. Well, we'll say goodbye for now then. Thanks to my guests, John and Carl. Okay, so I'll catch up with you soon, guys.
All right. See you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.